The Spanish-American War, the birth of a national hero. By the late 19th century, Spain was losing its last colonies. Cuba was in the middle of a brutal war for independence. Spanish repression was severe, and American newspapers, especially those owned by William Randolph Hearst, sensationalized the violence. This became known as yellow journalism, and it played a major role in pushing the U.S. toward war. The final spark came on February 15, 1898, when the U.S. battleship USS Maine exploded in the harbor of Havana, killing more than 260 sailors. Although responsibility was never proven, public opinion exploded. The cry spread across the nation, "Remember the Maine! To hell with Spain!" The United States declared war. Roosevelt leaves the office and takes up arms. Roosevelt refused to be a desk warrior. He resigned from his government post, a risky move for a rising politician, and helped organize a volunteer cavalry regiment that would become legendary. The Rough Riders. They were an unlikely mix. Cowboys and ranchers, miners and frontiersmen, Native Americans, Ivy League students from Harvard, athletes and adventurers. Roosevelt trained with them and led them personally to Cuba. San Juan Hill, the charge that made history. In July 1898, American forces attacked Spanish defensive positions at San Juan Hill and Kettle Hill, near Santiago de Cuba. The assault stalled under heavy fire. Officers hesitated, men pinned down. Roosevelt did not wait. Mounted on horseback and later on foot, he led a frontal charge uphill, moving ahead of his men under enemy fire. His courage pulled the soldiers forward. The hill was taken. This victory allowed the siege of Santiago de Cuba, marked the effective defeat of Spanish forces on the island. The image of Roosevelt charging up the hill became national legend. A short war that changed the world. The war lasted only 4 months, but its consequences were enormous. Under the Treaty of Paris, 1898, Spain lost its colonial empire. The United States gained Puerto Rico, Guam, the Philippines. Cuba became formally independent, but under strong U.S. influence, the United States emerged as a global imperial power. For Roosevelt, the war was the ultimate launchpad. National hero, Governor of New York, Vice President, President of the United States at just 42 years old. The President of the Big Stick. As president, Roosevelt governed by his famous philosophy, speak softly and carry a big stick. He believed the United States must be strong to maintain order and protect its interests. The enemy of monopolies, Roosevelt was the first president to seriously confront powerful corporate monopolies. He used antitrust laws to break up giants like Standard Oil, proving that even the richest companies were not above the law. Defender of workers and consumers. He intervened in labor strikes, supported fair wages, and promoted laws that regulated food and medicine, protecting ordinary citizens from corporate abuse. The Panama Canal and global power. Roosevelt pushed for the construction of the Panama Canal, supporting Panama's separation from Colombia. The canal transformed global trade and secured U.S. strategic dominance. It was controversial, but effective. Diplomacy and the Nobel Peace Prize. Though known as a warrior, Roosevelt was also a diplomat. In 1905, he mediated peace between Russia and Japan, ending a devastating war. For this, he received the Nobel Peace Prize, becoming the first American ever to win it. The great conservationist Roosevelt was a passionate lover of nature. His environmental legacy was unmatched. 5 national parks, 18 national monuments, 150 protected forests. He protected more land than any previous president. Death and legacy. Roosevelt died in 1919. Upon hearing the news, someone famously said, "Death had to take him while he slept, because if he had been awake, there would have been a fight."